All right, Mo versus the world, powering back into it. Got a very sensual comedian sitting next to me who looks incredibly uncomfortable if you're watching on YouTube. He goes by the name of TAYLOR WILLIAMSON, and he is a, what would you call yourself, a stand-up comedian? Is that what you describe yourself as?
I'm a stand-up comedian who agreed to do your podcast who didn't know it's going to be filmed.
Yeah, I like Taylor was very concerned about the fact that this is on camera. Now, if you're watching on YouTube, you see he essentially has zero, you don't have a lot of hair. So I don't know why you had to go into the bathroom and fix your hair. What were you?
Look at this.
Oh, you were just trying to, are you wearing a hoodie with no undershirt?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Why don't you unzip it all so you can just have chest hair rocking the whole thing?
You have too much hair.
No, don't change the subject. I'm saying if you're not wearing
No, I just acknowledge that you
have
shat on me on... I was like looking at myself while you were being mean to me.
I wasn't
just
being
drove
mean to
across town
God. To do the podcast.
I could have had lunch in Sherman Oaks. I had lunch in West Hollywood, so I
Right.
could be in Hollywood. I just gave out your address. People are gonna find you.
Right, don't give out my address.
I just
There's
basically
so
did.
many stalkers of this show.
He lives by the grocery store.
All right, well now I'm fucked. Taylor, you seem like you're in a feisty mood. You came in here, you talked about, you know,
I don't want to do your sex podcast.
You didn't want to do this. You clarified that this was not the sex podcast I do with my girlfriend. There was a lot of anxiety about this. Let's start with that. Why would you be so remiss to do a sex podcast?
I mean, I just don't want to do. I've done Loveline. I've done Dr. Drew stuff.
Well, see, my girlfriend's been on Dr. Drew quite a few times. He's supposed to come on the show, Dr. Drew. So,
well,
would you're just top shelf sex podcast?
Yeah.
You're only top shelf sex podcast?
Actually, yeah.
Really?
I'm not even joking.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if we get more famous, then you'll come on the sex podcast.
Oh yeah. I'll be the co-host.
Okay, great. Well, what this podcast is basically talking shit. And
Do I look in the camera?
No, you can look wherever you want.
Why is your name there but not mine?
Why? Because it's my podcast, so my name's on the wall. You thought I was going to hang up the name Taylor on the wall?
Can I say this too, though? Like, when you asked me to be on your podcast, like, It wasn't like... What I appreciate is you get right to business. Like, I hate the, hey, what are you doing tonight?
Oh, yeah. No, I don't want to hang out as friends at all. Yeah. Is that what you mean? Okay. Well, what do you mean?
But it's along the lines of this, though. You were just like, hey, come do my podcast.
Yeah.
It wasn't like... Hey, I know it's annoying. Hey, when he's doing podcasts, but you
speak a little more into the mic here. There you go, right in there. I don't want to miss this because what are you accusing me of getting right to the point?
I'm accusing you. No, I've not accused it. It's a fact.
Yeah.
But then I'm accusing you of just being like, you're welcome. You can do my podcast. Just do it. Tuesday, great, perfect. You'll have.
What
fun.
do you want me to do? Send you a gift basket? I thought matter of fact, what I said is, what are you doing on this night? And in comedian code, that mostly means, do you want to do my podcast?
You stress me out because you're like alpha Jew, and I'm not used to this. It's weird.
How Jewish do you consider yourself?
I identify
Jewish. Would you?
According to 23andMe, which I haven't done.
Yeah.
But from my understanding, I would identify by that as 49.9% Jewish, Ashkenazi.
You're only 49?
Yeah.
God, you
Taylor Williamson is not a Jew.
Your personality's so Jewish.
Yeah. I leaned into it hard.
You really leaned into it.
Like Blake Griffin plays basketball, but he's only half black, you know?
Right. I often think of you as the Blake Griffin of being Jewish.
Thank you so much. That's the nicest thing you've ever said. It actually probably is the nicest thing you've ever said.
That's not true. I say a lot of nice things to you. I mean, I think you're really fun. I can't think of anything offhand.
I literally just blocked you from. You started your compliment, then I stopped you and you changed your mind.
That's your Jewiness. It's that insecurity.
Wait, give me 3 compliments and I'll stay into the rest of the show.
You're tall.
But real compliments.
You're a very good joke writer. You're very good friends with that Heidi Klum woman from America's Got Talent. Yes, well, you're a good friend to her, at least on social media, when you get likes off.
When I write her and she doesn't write back to me?
Yeah, but you sort of keep reminding us that you're on that show.
Listen, once you got a hook, you got to leave that hook in your cheek, you know?
I'm jealous as hell. You've got a good fan base. You were the number 2 funniest person in America at one point.
It was America's Got Talent, not Last Comic Standing, so I was the funniest.
You're second talented most person.
I'm the second talented most person. And the most talented American because I lost to a Japanese man.
Yeah. Japanese people
triggered
will beat
me.
you.
You triggered me with that T-shirt. It sure says Japan for those of you.
One thing you said when we started out today, 20 minutes ago, was, it's before we're recording, you said that you thought you were in the 1% of most attractive comedians in comedy.
100%, yeah.
1%, the top 1%.
Yes.
So if I were to name 100 comedians, chances are you're better looking than 99 of them.
Yes.
If my math is right.
Yeah.
So I'm going to name some comics. Theo Vaughn.
This is a hard game. I didn't plan on.
Well, you made a bold statement that you're better.
I don't like comparing one, but there could be 10 of us that are in the top 1%.
Hold on, you don't shake the camera there because I want people to be able to see your beautiful face. Okay, Sam Tripoli, he was on last episode. Better looking than him, you think?
100%.
100% better looking than Sam?
Yeah.
I think that's probably true, yeah.
I'm an 8.
You consider yourself an 8?
I've been told I'm an 8.
Was the woman who told you that a 6?
6s can still identify an 8.
But are we allowed to just identify now, like the way people can identify whatever gender they want? Can you just identify whatever attractiveness you want? Yeah, can you be like, I'm a 4, but I identify as a 10?
That's funny. That's a good bit.
And you have to. I just
wrote your new act.
Yeah, this might be a new bit, but you need to respect that
You owe me money for this bit.
I am a 10. Okay.
You write that down?
I'm not gonna.
Can I have that bit?
No, you can't have.
How does that work? I came up with it.
You didn't come up with it.
It's on evidence. There's evidence. There's a recording and there's a video.
Obviously edit that out. All right, let's get into the topics of the week because I feel like this is just a disaster of an interview so far.
Everyone's Skype in and tell us who I'm more attractive than.
I mean, do you think you're better looking than me? Come on, Taylor.
There's different types.
No, there's not.
Yeah,
different types. I'm objectively better looking than you.
No, I don't know.
Really?
I'm not saying you're not handsome.
Rate my looks on a scale of 1 to 10.
I don't know. You're interesting. You're a hard one.
Fuck you. You're going to say my looks are interesting?
Someone could describe you as handsome or ugly.
No one could describe me as ugly. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. It could be both.
I don't agree. There's no way I'm ugly.
Why aren't they Skyping in?
Because this is not a live recording. This is just, I'm recording it, but this is not. So right now, this is just on my phone. There's no live stream. Yeah. Okay, let's get into our first story of the week. Now, you know how all those football players and stuff were kneeling during the anthem, to make a statement about America?
What do you mean those football players?
Like football players that were doing it. I'm not racially saying those. I'm saying football players.
That makes you less attractive and you're racist.
Really?
Yeah.
The racism takes away from my attractiveness? Oh, it's interesting. I've never actually heard that specific comment before.
So you hang out with Donald
I feel
Trump
like
supporters.
when you're really when you say anti-Semitic things, you become very beautiful in my eyes. Really? I don't know. Is that weird to say?
That's funny. You know who has a funny joke about that?
About being more beautiful for being anti-Semitic?
Never mind. Continue.
No one, I'm guessing.
Okay, never mind.
No, tell me.
No, but there's this one joke that stands out. Steve Hofstadter had this joke, I remember, and from 10 years ago, and I think of it in my life, and he's like, because he has an adopted black sister. I'm gonna ruin his joke, but it's basically, how could I be racist? I hate black people. They always read my diary. I don't know, something like that. I'm ruining his joke. But I think about that I hate my mom because she
So do you feel like you don't get enough bombs with your own material that you have to bomb with other people's material as well?
But the idea of it's funny. It's not funny. I know, but
idea. That's the worst thing you could do is to quote someone's.
That's
joke
why I
wrong.
stopped myself.
No,
and then
you
said,
didn't really though.
I said I don't want to, and then you're like, no, you have. And then I was like, because I know where it's going. If I go, no, you're gonna go, come on, what's wrong? And then I'm gonna do it. It's hyped too much.
This is my girlfriend does all the time. She'll be talking to her friend. She's like, he does the best joke about me, and then she just butchers it, and they're like, he sucks.
Oh, she likes her jokes about you.
Yeah, I got a really good one about her that I'm doing these days. Want to hear it? Are you gonna give it a chance, or are you just gonna purposely not laugh? Because I feel like you're gonna purposely not laugh.
No, I'm gonna give it a chance.
I don't feel like you are. Okay, here's a joke. My girlfriend's she's a urologist. She's a dick doctor. And the other day she said, she goes, man, I called her at work. And she's like, I'm just so tired of looking at dicks. And I was like, you're going to hate what I have planned for tonight. That's a good joke, right? Oh, now see, if you're watching on YouTube, he's trying not to laugh.
I said that's fun. I liked it.
But you didn't really give
it. You
want
need a tag?
I wanted you to high five me.
Do you want a tag for it?
I don't want a tag for it. All right, let's get into the topics. Taylor, people
Can I give you a tag for your joke?
Yes, give me the tag.
You go, yeah.
Look at how we're leaning. We're leaning away from each other. Let's get closer to each other.
You told me to scoot this way.
I know, but I'm the frame wise, but our body language is very off. Okay, give me the tag.
We have to do the bit again.
My girlfriend's a urologist. She's a dick doctor, and the other day she told me.
She's got double D's. They're only on her business card.
Oh my god.
Get it though?
No, I really don't.
Dick doctor.
Oh, dick doctor.
She got double D's, but unfortunately, they're only on her business card.
And you're the second most talented person in America?
Second most talented.
Really?
It's official.
If it's legally binding.
It's a fact. I mean, I'm not even bragging.
Sounds like a little bit of a brag.
How is it a brag to say I'm the second most talented person in America?
I'm just saying.
It's a fact.
Not according to this podcast.
Even if you're saying you're more talented than me, I'm still number 2 again.
That's true. I didn't even win my own show, Comedy Knockout. I wasn't even the most talented person on my own fucking stupid show that no one ever watched. Okay, here we go. I want to just go into some topics. I want to get your take on these hot takes. I want some hot Taylor takes. Okay? Hot Tay takes. Tay takes. Is that the name of your podcast, Tay takes?
Can I use that?
Yeah, you could have that. Okay, so certain football players of all races were kneeling to protest the national anthem, and recently a fencer in the Pan Am Games kneeled while he was receiving, I think, a bronze medal.
I saw it as a white guy.
White dude, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, as an avid fencing fan, what do you think of that?
I think it's. I guess
it was in Latin America, and he said he was protesting immigration.
I mean, it's. I don't. I'm worried about offending anybody. I mean, it's people are upset about it. I get it for sure. I mean, you're taking a bold as I stutter for a minute. I'm trying to think of the words to say. It's a bold statement to make, and is it the time and place to do it? We're talking about it, and he's bringing attention to the cause.
I know, and I resent that. I resent the fact that we're talking about anything fencing related. You know, regardless of the issue that he's trying to promote. I don't want fencing. I don't have to remember that fencing's a sport. It bothers me. Doesn't count.
I matched a girl who's a fencer on a dating app, and I was like, do I want to date a fencer?
No.
Right?
I mean, a fencer's got to be the dorkiest. I'd say fencing, if you meet a girl who's a fencer, it's right up there with, what's that thing where people like dress up as things?
Cosplay?
Cosplay.
But now it's cool, though.
It's not cool. Cosplay?
I don't do it. I can't. I'm not. Are you like this? I can't do karaoke. I love attention. I'm a stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
I'm an egomaniac, all this stuff. But I found a vessel to do it in a healthy way. That's cool. Maybe.
Right. You get to do podcasts. It's fun. It's working out.
I get to drive across a town to do podcasts, and but stand-up comedy is like, it's my way of attention.
Right.
If I have to dance or do karaoke or dress up for Halloween,
you don't want to dress up because you're in the top 1% of beautiful people in America, and you don't want to hide the beauty.
That's a good point.
Is that what you mean?
You said that. I said I'm on top 1% of beautiful comedians.
Okay, that's right.
I'm not the top 1% of beautiful people.
No,
I might be though. There's probably. I don't know if there's more. There's probably way more ones through 7s than there are 9 through 10s though. So I might be top 1% of.
I'll give it to you.
Thank you.
I know what you're saying though. You're saying you don't like. I'm with you. I don't like Halloween either. Like, you don't like just sort of getting attention unless there's a chance you're going to get paid for it.
It's not even about the money, but I found a way that I don't know how to define it. But like my cousins, I have a cousin who's obsessed. Him and his wife, they do the Ghostbusters, dress up like Ghostbusters thing. And if you hung out with them, they're cool, normal people.
What does that mean? They go to Ghostbusters parties,
conventions and stuff, and then they go to hospitals and parades.
I just think that's just so lame.
They're in a Netflix documentary. Yeah, I don't get it, but everyone needs a thing. We're lucky we found a thing, like a passion.
But just because you have a thing doesn't mean that should be your thing. Like, keep looking for another thing. Like, maybe that's just like your rough draft thing.
Maybe that's funny. Maybe that's another bit I just wrote. I'm running your whole act, buddy. I
can't remember. What was the first bit you wrote for me?
I don't remember. Either.
Oh, I'm gonna write that down. Identifying as being hot. Right, that was pretty solid.
You're fucking recording it on your video and on audio, and so you have to write it down during your podcast.
Well, because I don't know. I want to just write it down. So, all right. So that's something. I don't know. I mean, whatever. It's just this whole kneeling thing. It's like, where does it? I mean, okay. I'm not for or against it. I'm just saying, if now it's in fencing. I mean,
are you offended?
I'm just saying, are you? I'm offended. Yes. No, I'm not offended. Write that down? I'm not. That's not good. I'm just saying, like, if I'm in the background of a baseball game, and I got good seats. Let's pretend I have a good agent who gave me good seats. Am I going to kneel down behind the camera because now I get my message across? Like, should a message be gotten across in every situation? Are you going to, like, when you do your next comedy special, are you going to kneel in the middle of it?
Are people going to see this one?
No. This is also going to be on CISO.
That's an interesting point.
I'm just saying that's like, and I'm not saying it's sure or not.
That's a dream for me. I'd take CISO now. That's a better placement than I got.
Yeah. I'm just saying it's like,
Amazon Prime, by the way. You can watch my comedy
Taylor's.
special.
I'm also on Amazon Prime.
Oh, yeah.
You can watch both of them at the same time.
Same location.
It's true. Same material.
Listen, you get good jokes, and they different crowd, new to them. I get that's an interesting point you're making.
I don't know. I
just
don't
because,
know if it's the answer.
I get the point because you're throwing. It's a aggressive thing to do, but I think it is such an important point to make that. But then the interesting
But I don't
thing
know if it is an important point to make because it is an important point to make. Yes, but the way he's doing it is not that effective. Because if you just see a guy kneel down. You don't know what the fuck, and this had nothing to do with what football players were
No,
kneeling
right.
for.
So kneeling used to mean because black people are being attacked by police officers, which
but
is
now
horrible.
this is a totally different thing.
But now it's immigration.
So don't do the kneel. Do like stand on one leg.
I mean,
It's kind of hacky, you know?
I hear what you're saying though. Like kneeling represents one thing, and now it represents something
now
else.
You're marginalizing the kneel. Kneeling, first of all, used to mean blowjobs. Then it had something to do with racism, and now it has to do with immigration.
You know what I just learned about is the handshake, and then you do the creepy finger hands palm scratch.
What's this?
Are we doing this?
Let's do it. Wait,
like,
so-
hey, how you doing? Yeah.
So what's this?
That means I want to have sex with you.
Oh, really?
I just learned that because I heard that if I hear the same story twice from two different people and I didn't bring it up, it's a fact.
So you're telling me if I have a meeting and I just go, hey, how's it going?
You're doing it wrong, by the way.
And they're
Can they see how bad you're doing?
well, that's what you said. You said scratch your palm.
No, it's supposed to be just like a little secret.
Okay. So
No, just one. I'll do it to you. Hey, buddy.
So,
It's creepy as fuck. So
but who are you shaking hands with? Then that you're so unclose to that you're shaking hands that you think that's going to then move to sex that quickly.
and for the record, I'm not defending this. I
This
don't
is
know.
your move. You said this is your move. You said this is how you made love to a lot of people like this. I mean, how
This
do you
is turning into your sex podcast.
There we go. My girlfriend's about to come out from underneath the bed. Gotcha, bitch! The sex podcast, by the way, is called The Full Release. You guys can check it out. Okay, Taylor, let's move on. So, Sarah Silverman, you know her, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I know I admire her a lot.
Did you ever give her that handshake and things progress from there? Or no?
No, should I try that?
I think so, yeah. I think that's... Sarah Silverman has dated quite a few comedians. I think most of them have seduced her by that technique.
That's their move.
Yeah. David Tell, when he dated her, I believe it was like that.
You have to put matzah in there, though.
Y'all put matzah in there, yeah.
If I'm Jewish, I can say that.
She's a real Heeb.
She's
Jewish.
the dream Jewish face.
She is. Yeah, she is. Jewish men love Sarah Silverman. But there's a story, apparently, she had I was reading this on Yahoo today. She had a part in a movie, and then the day before she was going to shoot it, they found this old episode of her in blackface on the Sarah Silverman show in 2007 and pulled it.
I saw that.
And then she fired her.
Yeah, I saw that.
What are your thoughts on that? I mean, you like blackface, right? You're pretty into blackface in general, or sexually you like to be in blackface, or out of all the times you like to be in blackface, what do you think is your favorite?
See, this is an example of like I might get cast in my first movie, and that's 2007. That's 12 years. So like 12 years
Right.
from now, they might listen back to this podcast where I make a joke. Yes, and you're a bit where you're saying.
Well,
that
I'm just saying, out of all the times that you like to be in blackface, what's your favorite?
I can probably say I've never even done like what's the one in Israel where you put the black stuff like in the water in your face, the Dead Sea or something? Is that the one?
What are you talking? You know what?
Was it
what about
Iceland?
for like Lent? Don't they put a little bit of blackface on their forehead? Isn't that kind of blackface? You put
I don't
a
know.
little
If that's, I don't know if that's called blackface.
See this little dash.
Just a little-
That's a dash of blackface.
The priest is like, can we just stand still? We put a little blackface on you.
That's what it is, right?
Nah, maybe.
I mean, we're not Christians, so we don't want to comment. But I know you guys have that day in Easter where you go in 2% blackface, and we're not judging. We're Jews, so that's weird. We would never be in blackface because we're Jews.
We're not judging because that's weird.
Yeah, it's weird that you.
I'm quoting him. This is a disaster.
I'm just saying it's weird that Christians like to put part of their forehead in blackface for Easter, and that's where we're coming from as Jews. Together,
Don't bring me into this.
Together, we're making this statement.
I don't know why I agreed to be here, but it is a weird thing where I've had this once. Have you had this happen? Like, so there's a thing now that's happening in our time, and many times it's worthwhile and valid. And in some cases it's not, where you're being punished for things that happened years ago.
Yeah.
Like obviously assaults and physical things and non-physical things too all day, sure. But like Eddie, I think Whitney Cummings was on Howard Stern. They're talking about Eddie Murphy's comedy specials from the 80s. Now he's doing a Netflix special again.
Right.
There's no way Ron Delirious will be on Netflix. In any other case, they would be.
Right.
But they're so by 2019 standards and probably 1988 standards, 1985 standards, it's the most homophobic shit you've ever seen in your entire life.
Raw Hilarious could be on Netflix, but they'll be edited down to 2 minutes. It'll mostly be him walking out on stage in a bright red leather suit
and saying goodnight, everybody.
Dude, yeah, the first joke of, I think it was Delirious, is just so unbelievably homophobic.
Like they say the F word all day. But like Weird Science. Have you seen Weird Science? Remember that movie, the 1980s movie where they make that hot chick? They say the F word all day too, and you could argue that it's like that's how high school kids talked. I talked like that when I was I think 8th grade is when I stopped doing that.
Yeah.
Then like it was told enough, don't do that anymore, and that's
fast. If you got out of talking like that in 8th grade, you were a quick PCer.
I mean, I still do it all day.
Right, I know you do it.
You know,
but when you're in blackface. I was watching Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures the other day, and they hug each other, and then they pull back and say the F word.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, what's the
Keanu?
He just goes, "Whoa, I'm not a." Or
no, they just kind of like hug each other. They go, you know what I mean? They call each other that.
Like, use the word butter and do what they do.
They go,
hug,
butter. You know, like they accuse each other. Yeah.
And they say it at the same time?
Yeah, unified, unison.
Isn't that crazy? So, I mean, Norm Macdonald's the craziest version of this, where, like, if you watch him on The View from, like, I'm obsessed with Norm, and I love going back and all the time and seeing all this stuff. He's one of my favorites ever. Him on The View in, like, Meredith Vieira, Star Jones Day, he's just riffing with the ladies, and like she's like talking about having sex with her husband, and then he's like, she's probably asleep when you have, and she laughs along and jokes, and he says, yeah, it's true. I mean, and everyone was so down. If he said one of those things today, he'd be out. So then when he's on The View recently, because he apologized, he said something he shouldn't have said in an interview that was taken out of context, where he's just being a reasonable person when he was defending. He's friends with Louis C.K. He's friends with Roseanne. His friends did and said some stupid, horrible shit that's unjustifiable and you can't apologize for. But they're his friends. What if your child or your mother or your best friend said some stupid shit? Do you cancel them? You go, oh, you're my friend. What do I do? So he connected to his friends, and he's like, yeah, the victim was horrible. It happened to the victims, of course. But also, my friend is still a human being, and I want to make sure he's okay because he's a human. Then people try to cancel for that. Then he went on Howard Stern's show.
I know, that was a whole nightmare. It was like one thing after another. It was like that was like a slinky falling downstairs. It was just like, and eventually they're like, no more press for Norm.
And that's just a comedian. So then I don't know, because I started this. Then he went on Howard Stern show to apologize, and he already booked. So while he's booked, he might as well apologize. And he used the R word in a silly way, making fun of himself. But you can't say that anymore. But he said it in this cartoon way.
Right.
The next day on The View, he was just the saddest man on The View, promoting himself. No. But so comedians are being punished for things from throughout history.
I just think it's like for Sarah Silverman to have to apologize for blackface. And she did, and she's saying that like, oh, she did it in there, it was terrible. It's like, if by those rules, she should have to apologize for an entire act. I mean, because every joke, and she said this, she used to like to do her act where she would say things she didn't believe, and that was a joke. And I do that too. I think it's funny, and I don't think she should have to apologize. You could say you could apologize once, but to have to get canceled, be punished for something that you said in 2007, it's fine to apologize and say that was stupid, but dude. Every comedian of a certain ilk, like anyone like Sarah Silverman, me, Anthony Jeselnik, all the people that everyone respects and are very rich people, the joke is that you're saying the thing you don't agree with.
It's funny. It is very funny how I never really thought of it as simply as that is, oh, did you hear what that comedian said on stage? Oh, the joke?
Right.
Is that the part that you're offended by? Is the joke?
That's the whole joke. They're saying something that is so ridiculous. But I mean, like, Sarah Silverman has to apologize over her blackface, but if someone was like, oh, I'm going to fire her because of this thing she said about abortion, she'd also have to be like, all right, I also don't agree with that I said. Because, I mean, most of the things she's probably said, she doesn't agree with if you take it literally.
This is like a 5-hour conversation, which is very interesting.
Let's go. We're doing an 8-hour podcast.
Good.
Taylor.
We have time.
I hope you were wearing a diaper.
But like, I'm fascinated by this because like she was doing a character for years. And she never said, but when she go on stage, hey, I'm Sarah Silverman, I'm doing a character. She just go on stage and say a bunch of the funniest racist jokes ever. But the point, if you're an intelligent person, which a lot of people aren't, she's playing an idiot saying horrible things that she doesn't mean. But then,
by the way, Amy Schumer, 100% the same thing.
But they both just stopped doing that without making an announcement, though. I'm not defending anything, but it's interesting and it's great. But their last specials,
that's a shame though, because I like them still, but I loved Sarah Silverman's old act. I thought it was hilarious. Amy Schumer's old act too, and I mean, their new acts are still hilarious too. But it's just like, why can't you do that? I don't know. I like that genre of comedy.
But this is what comedy. This is what's happening in comedy, which is interesting. Is stop doing characters, they're being themselves now, you know? Probably exaggerate still a little bit, but it's not a cartoon anymore. I had someone, I have a comedy album from 2012, which you can buy on iTunes. Laughter, I Hardly Know Her. Great title.
Wonderful.
Really
title.
is a good title.
I mean,
It's
I bought
hard
it
to-
3 times myself, just off the title.
So this guy, I got a nasty, I saw you, right?
No, I wasn't doing any faces to camera on YouTube.
So I got an aggressive, angry, psycho email. I've only had one for this. I've had a bunch for different things, but I could tell he was like, "Oh, you're racist against Mexicans." He went off on me. He's like, "Send me a threatening email. I'm gonna find you and stuff." And I knew what he's talking about instantly because I had a joke on my act 7 years ago, which I still don't think is offensive. And like, I grew up in San Diego. I grew up with a Mexican nanny in my home who's like my family.
You're very woke. You're very woke.
I'm woke.
You're
I'm woke.
very woke.
My first word was leche.
There you go.
So, and it's also a joke, but it was inspired by Sarah Silverman's type stuff where you say something ridiculously horrible,
Right,
you know?
right.
And, but it's funny. He's,
What's the joke?
I haven't told this joke in 7 years, but I wouldn't tell it. But I wouldn't tell it today though,
Right?
Because
right,
I get where Sarah's coming from too. But this is a joke, dude. I recorded my comedy special before Trump was president, and before that was stuff. It wasn't released till afterwards. I did editing because I evolved so hardcore in those 2 years of what I think is funny. Even making fun of Jewish people, making fun of myself. I was like, oh, I don't want to
So you took out all of those jokes where you're like, you know who'd be the best president? Trump. And I would vote for him. I love Trump. I want to suck his dick. And then he got elected, and you're like, maybe just pull back on those.
Well, I was saying that in my live journals.
Right.
That wasn't my comedy.
That was in your vlog.
That's just my livejournal.com/Taylor Vampire 27
internet. So tell us a racist Mexican joke.
So I said, and this is truth, then you exaggerate it. So this really happened. So I don't know. It's interesting. I didn't come up out of the blue. In college, my roommate was like, "Hey, are you Mexican? You look like you're Mexican." And then my joke is, I was like, "How could I be Mexican? Look at me. I'm in college."
That's fun. That's a fun joke.
Fun joke. And then I try to understand where he's coming down to. He's listening to the audio of it.
Right.
So all he hears is, "How could I be Mexican? Look at me.
Right.
I'm in college."
Right.
But if you look at it on paper, it's a racist statement.
Very racist.
But with the stop, "How can a Mexican look at me? I'm in college." Then it becomes a joke when you hear it.
Right. But there was a time, and I am super guilty of that shit too, and still sometimes now, where like, yeah, you can tell yourself that it's like ironic that you're saying something. But I really don't do those kind of racial jokes either. But that was like when we were coming up at that time, I don't want to just talk about fucking comedy bullshit, but that was the time that was what people were doing. Like it was like all the New York guys at that time, that was who most people modeled themselves off. And it was all like, I'm saying something horrible, and that's the joke.
Dude, my first time, I was at the Comedy Store in La Jolla when I was 17 years old. They asked the booker to watch me. My first punchline, it was context. It was me being called it, but it was the gay F word. It was someone calling me that. Now I don't think I would say it in my act. You know what I mean?
Wait, someone from the crowd called you that?
No, the joke is someone's like, "You don't smoke a cigarette, you don't smoke, drink alcohol." Oh my God, what a F word, you know?
Dude, I said that on my Comedy Central special.
Yeah.
And they bleeped it out, but they never said you can't say that.
Right. Dude, my first time on TV doing Craig Ferguson, you do that one? Craig Ferguson show? 2007. That's set list.
I did in 2006. They gave me a VHS of my first.
Oh, yeah. So my set list, they give you like bullet points you can put on the monitor. So if you forget your jokes, you can look at those. I'm not kidding. This is my monitor. And like you can look up online, Taylor Craig Ferguson 2007. There's 2 appearances. Look at the.
They're gonna probably not.
The first
probably
one.
Not gonna do either of those, but that's cool. Yeah, go on.
It was homo.
Just go on.
Retarded, rape whistle, whore.
Dude, I used to sell a T-shirt after shows, and I sold a lot of them that said "Political correctness is gay," and then in parentheses, "and so are retards." I swear to God, like in 2005, I used to sell it. I mean, it's horrible. I would never do that now. I don't condone it, but at the time, they sold. You should come on. It's a good. It was a solid. I think I sold 40 of those opening Friday. You should, Tyler, believe it or not.
And she's probably cool with it too.
Give a shit. I'm just saying. Yes, I feel bad now for that, but at the time, no one. I mean, human beings will act as horrible as they're allowed to act. So to judge someone on what they did 15 years ago, what is that? 14 years ago or whatever. That I'm embarrassed at how long I've been doing comedy. I'm just saying, it's like you can't keep. I don't know. At a certain point, what do you? Everyone was horrible at a time, you know.
Yeah, and then like
everybody was terrible at a certain. I mean, and we're getting better, but you can't be like, oh, wait a minute, fucking 40 generations ago, you said some shit. It's like, all right, well then America shouldn't exist because we're obviously sitting on top of a horrible sin.
It's happening to Joe Biden now,
right?
You know, like people going after like the vote he made 30 years ago. I'm not saying it's not just, but
No,
it's
I think that's ridiculous because if you look at, okay, then let's just get rid of Truman from the fucking.
Well, that's
'cause
happening.
He used to use the N-word constantly in his letters, and it's horrible. But it's like, dude, we don't want to take that
People
deep
want
of a
to.
look at our history because it's gonna be ugly.
everyone will be canceled.
Everyone.
The astronaut, was it the astronaut? Is Gabby Gifford's husband? Is her husband or his twin brother? One of them. I think it was the astronaut. But like, he said he quoted Churchill on Twitter or something, and he had to apologize for quoting Winston Churchill because he was racist. Dr. Seuss is racist. I'm not defending
Dude,
these. All the greats are racist.
I don't think even a single president, including Obama for most of his career, was even pro-gay marriage. So,
Hillary Clinton is on the record saying she's against.
And now
gay
she's
marriage.
doing great things. She's killing Jeffrey Epstein. She's doing a lot of wonderful stuff. Okay, let's move on. So this is an interesting story. I want to know how you would have handled this. A woman in Maryland was at a Outback Steakhouse. You enjoy a good Outback, right?
I've been to Outback Steakhouse.
Yeah.
I've been to Maryland.
You've been to, so both. This article really hits home for you. Then.
I think I've been to once. I've been to each of those once. You toured Maryland? I did a college
I don't
there.
know if I ever toured Maryland.
You visited
I've been to a steakhouse though.
in Maryland?
Not in Maryland.
Have you been to Maryland?
I did a golf. I did a golf course there one time.
You performed at a golf course?
Yeah, golf country club.
Oh, a private gig.
They actually had steak there, so this is really full circle.
Is this true? I performed at a golf course once.
Okay.
Outside Peoria, Illinois, where my grandma's from, and also where, who else is from there? Richard Pryor and was the Sam Kinison.
Okay. So there was this family at an Outback Steakhouse in Maryland, and they were asked to leave because she has a 4-year-old son who's got neurological problems. And I guess he was making a ton of noise and stuff, and it was disturbing the other patrons. And so they said, could you guys take your food to go? And here's some vouchers for the restaurant. And she was furious. Now...
They kicked him out, but said, hey, come on back, though.
Right, that's what she said. She's like, oh, yeah, you can suck a fucking dick on these vouchers because, we're not going to...
So you're asking me if I had a restaurant, would I kick out someone who is...
Put yourself in that position. Look, that's a hard position.
We're in a world where everything has to be black or white, but there's gray things. Things are gray.
Yeah.
You can be pro people with disabilities being comfortable, but then also if you have a restaurant, there's 100 other people in the restaurant.
I love people with disabilities. I just don't want them sitting next to me. Now, does that not what you're saying?
That's not. Oh God.
Oh, is that not what you're saying?
This is your podcast. What your podcast should be called is I'm dragging my career down and I'm hooking you to the anchor that's bringing
No,
us
I'm just
both
saying
down.
I understand where they're coming from because I've been on a plane and while a baby's screaming and crying.
Let's talk about babies instead of people with disabilities. It's the same issue though.
But that's what I'm saying. It is the same issue. It's like, on the one hand,
babies should
it's
know
not
better.
your fault. I know it's not the fault. But on the other hand, there's a lot of other people involved here. So we have like a shared...
Some people smell bad.
That's happened to me.
Yeah.
So it's a weird position. Like it sounds terrible on paper.
I flew back from Japan next to the fattest man who's there. I'm not trying to even fat shame. I'm just literally, there's no other way to describe it.
Yeah.
I'm in the middle seat flying back from Japan because God's not real. I found out.
Yeah.
The fattest fucking guy ever, and his body's on top of I'm not exaggerating. Even I'm not trying to be whatever. Like, literally, his body's on me. It was to the point where normally, like, after people fall asleep on my shoulder, and then like
Was he a sumo wrestler?
No, he was a pro wrestling fan. It was a white guy. And I was flying back to Japan. There's a pro wrestling match happening out there at the same time. And I was like, Japan people are small and polite and stuff and careful. I was like, this guy has to be a wrestling fan. And he got off. I saw his sweater as a wrestling shirt. I was like, I knew it. But his body was on my body. And it was...
Dude, it's actually funny you said it because me and my girlfriend were just in Japan. And when we were flying back, a Japanese guy sat down next to her. She was in the middle. And that guy had a really bad BO. And she just kept like saying to me, like, he smells so bad, like whispering. I was like, dude, he can hear you. Like, stop doing that. That's really rude, But she was really bothered by it.
But then why is she rude? But he's not rude for smelling bad on a
He's also rude.
flight.
He's also rude.
Oh, so they're both rude.
They're both being rude.
Oh,
but at a certain point,
you should have broke up with both of them.
Well, I'm in love with both of them, so I couldn't break up with them.
That's funny.
Thank you. I don't feel like this is dragging either of our careers down. We're just going to talking about things. What can you not talk about things anymore?
No, but that's it. You can't.
I feel like we've said
can't.
all politically correct things, but I agree with what you're saying because everything can be twisted. You almost can't show any mirth about anything.
Have you gone through your tweets and deleted stuff?
Oh fuck yeah!
The funny.
I don't know why no one's looking at them anymore, but fuck it.
No, but you never know. You get a thing.
Right.
One of your videos goes viral, then people find your tweets from like 8 years ago. I remember like people. I'm sure people do. But Trevor Noah got Daily Show when Melissa Villaseñor and John Vinitsky got SNL. People, and it's the fucking left. It's the liberal people.
Because the left sucks.
Everyone sucks.
This is my new joke that I've been saying that doesn't ever work.
Oh, you're a neoconservative.
No, I'm not a neoconservative. I say politically I am liberal, but comedically I have to admit that conservatives make for better crowds. What I'm trying to say is I'd rather perform at a Klan rally than a coffee shop in Silver Lake.
I think you posted that. Yeah, that's very funny. I think I liked it.
Doesn't work ever. But
is that really?
It doesn't work.
Oh, it's too inside.
It's too inside. But it's like
it's true.
I'm 100% politically liberal in every regard, but fucking liberals are annoying as shit.
Have you watched?
The debates are so annoying.
Yes,
I can't watch the debates. I hate all of those people.
Yeah, I agree. Have you watched Mike Huckabee's Trinity Broadcasting Network, Daily Show type show?
No, it sounds terrible.
He has this crowd. It's the worst. He thinks he's a comedian. He does like Weekend Update type shit. And this crowd, all these old white people, they laugh, but because we agree with you, laughter, but they're not actually laughing.
Dude, liberals are just as guilty of that shit. Go to any fucking like liberally hipster coffee shop, and then some comedian goes up there and goes like, "I'm against racism." No joke. And everyone's like, "Oh yeah,
that's fair." It's probably the same thing as doing.
I'm anti-rape. Oh,
yeah.
Bold statement. It's just like, everybody's so fucking annoying with this sort of identity politics and like, oh, I'm this, so I have to support all these people. It's like you can like, I don't understand how people can't. Whatever. Fuck. Who gives a shit. All right, let's move on.
I feel you.
I don't feel like I'm very good at marketing myself, but I saw an article today that made me realize maybe I'm not as bad as I thought. A gun store in Katy, Texas.
I've been in Katy, Texas.
Are you fucking serious?
Yeah.
Where is that?
I don't know. I think it's near Dallas. It's near Dallas.
Are you just making that up?
I swear to God. I'm going to look up and be right.
You did a show there?
I think that's like Hyenas Comedy Club or something.
Wow. That's so funny with stand-up comedy. Like any random-ass place in America, comedians like, oh, yeah, I did a shrimp restaurant that place.
Oh, the Houston Improv's in Katy, Texas.
Oh, okay.
Take that, Matty.
Right. I'm impressed.
Yeah.
So anyway, there's this gun store there, and on their marquee, they are, for some reason, Texas guns are such a big deal, they have marquees. We're offering a back-to-school sale.
Jesus Christ.
50% off firearms, and apparently people didn't think that was politically correct. Shocking.
And then I bet the conservative people defend it because they're on that weird team of it's okay. You guys need to. The craziest.
I hope even that is too far for because I know what you mean. Like there's like if people who are like pro guns are like, it's kind of like how we're afraid to say anything offensive because people are going to say, oh, if you even say the R word or the F word, they're not going to think of the context. So they have to be against it, and we're worried about that right now, like that we're ruining our careers on my little podcast. But the conservatives are like that with guns, where it's like if you even say anything about guns, you got to be like, no, I'm for it.
Yeah.
No, we think we should be sticking guns into babies' mouths. That's what we should be feeding babies. Yeah. Guns.
91% of people are in favor of gun control, though, but the Congress, the representatives don't represent their people.
I don't know. It's a fucking joke. It's such a joke. I can't believe. I mean, there was a thing this weekend where Walmart made a big stand. And they said, in response to the shooting that happened here, we are going to outlaw in the stores violent video game advertisements.
Yeah.
So they really took a strong stand.
Yeah.
We're still going to sell the weapon that was used for it, but we're going to really tone down on those posters of that alien monster shooting a laser gun.
It's absurd. I mean,
yeah, it's a fucking joke.
It's clearly like, oh, I wonder if playing these kids growing up playing Grand Theft Auto, I wonder if that leads to shootings. Oh, surprisingly, it doesn't. Oh, that's interesting.
It does.
You know, it does lead to shooting. No, but not of course. It's a reasonable thought that was taken care of 15, 20 years ago.
20 years ago, yeah.
Yeah, but it turns out, it's guns. It's fucking guns.
Right.
Oh.
But it's amazing.
And also the straight white, that's the part, but they know too.
Yeah, but I think what's so funny is that like you'd think even if there was a shred of doubt that video games led to shootings, you'd be like, but probably guns are like at least 1% on that side. You're like, no. Guns don't lead to it at all. Guns actually help prevent shootings. Video games, though, it's like I love it. Can't be like it can't be both. I mean, I don't think it's video games at all. But the idea that like AR-15s, no, those need to. Those should be. You should wear them as jewelry. And then let's start talking about that rap music. And it's just fucking ridiculous.
But it's probably. I mean, the rap music and video games are the two things that. Yeah, exactly. But.
I do think rap music might actually contribute to people being aggressive, though.
Sure.
When I listen to rap music too much, I feel like I am hostiler when I'm driving around, and I'm like a little more feisty.
And there's probably people who have killed people because of video games too. I think about that like the guy who invented the car. Do you think he feels bad knowing that people would not have died if literally they would not, but then also people would not have survived if they didn't have the car to take them to the hospital?
That's an interesting one, yeah.
But guns just kill people.
Sometimes I think about that. Do you think the guy who invented AIDS by having sex with that monkey, do you think he ever feels guilty about it? Like if he hadn't had sex with that monkey, if he'd have just jerked off, then there'd be no AIDS.
Is that a fact that that's what happened?
Yeah, my girlfriend's a doctor, said that's what happens.
A man put his penis inside a lady.
Yeah.
A lady. It
was a lady monkey, yeah. Her name was Bernice, I want to say.
And then
and that's how they started AIDS, yeah.
And then he had sex with a human.
Actually, he fucked a bunch of other animals. Like he was on a real tear. He got loose in a zoo. Yeah, he got loose in a zoo.
See, I don't.
He had sex with a lot of other animals, and then eventually he did work his way back to humans. Yeah.
You know what I don't get is like people talk about the 60s. Like this is a Turn to Your Sex podcast. You know, like free love. Like it's so much better before AIDS existed. I'm like, you had everything else back then, though. I don't even think about AIDS.
I don't think that's true. No, I've talked to him. My parents were both of them very renowned raw doggers. And they said back during the 60s, there was a lot of just fucking. And they said, you really didn't get anything. The clap, you know? A little gonorrhea.
So that's all that existed.
A little rug burn.
But I don't even think of AIDS. I have every other worry ever.
You don't think about AIDS?
I think of every other one.
Oh man, that's like when I was back in my dick slinging days. All I would do was think about AIDS.
Sincerely?
Yes, I would buy that at-home AIDS test all the time and make women take it, and then I would take it as well after we had unprotected sex.
But like, do you agree looking back that was a little bit?
I think I knew at the time it was crazy, but I'm just like super OCD and paranoid. And so I could convince myself.
Though, but it's funny because like I don't go to that. I'm worried about everything else, including babies and diseases and stuff, but I'm not worried about AIDS.
What's the closest call you ever had with a baby?
This is the sex podcast?
No, I'm just asking you. I've
had a Plan B situation where that's just purchased just in case, you know, and then you go to Walgreens at 3 a.m. and the guys so you say to the girl because you're a gentleman and you're respectful and time's up and stuff, you know. So
yeah,
just
you say, why don't you send me your Venmo and on my way home I'll send you.
Just give me cash and so then you go. Okay, so we're mature adults here. You just let everyone know that you're both mature adults, and then you're like, do you want to?
So we're gonna kill this baby.
So just in case, just to be safe, I think we should do this. And then she's like, yeah, you know, I don't have to take it till tomorrow. I have 72 hours. I'm like, oh, a little expert over here.
Yeah, exactly. And then you're like, well, I ain't fucking leaving until you take it.
Then I'm like, I don't know if we have to wait. We can do it now. And then I'm like, how about this? I'll go get it. And then tomorrow I'll come by at like 7 a.m. I'll come back in 4 hours. I'll bring you breakfast. And then I go to Walgreens
because you don't want to stop. You want to nip this in the little baby. Yeah,
the little baby bud. You still have to be a gentleman though, so that it's like 7 a.m. and then so at 3 a.m. you're at Walgreens, and then you have to ask to open up the thing with the Plan B in it, you know, because it's
not anymore.
Oh, now it's next to the gum.
Well, now it's behind them. It used to be so. It used to be you had to get a pharmacist to do it.
Yeah, I didn't have to get a pharmacist, but I had to ask, would you open this up thing?
Right.
Excuse me. It's
like by the batteries.
So I got that, and then I bought like a pack of gum, and I bought some snacks or something.
And then you buy a pack of condoms, and you look at the teller and go, lesson learned. Game, set, and match.
So I bought that, and we bought two things just to hide it, kind of, you know?
Yeah,
like, oh yeah, just a gum, an abortion pill, you know? And then it's not the abortion pill.
And then you get the baby. Do you have this in a spray? Do you have like a baby be gone or anything like that?
Baby pecan? That's the flavor.
Baby be gone.
I think baby pecan.
Like bugs
flavor.
be gone.
Yeah, I got you.
I mean, what's the point of me throwing these fucking comedic fastballs if you're not going to be able to catch them?
Well, because I'm trying to tell my story, and then you throw out these gems, but if you still throw these gems are knocking out my...
Okay, I see what you're saying.
So then the guy goes, he's like, hey, how's your night going? And I'm just like, great. I just...
would be going a lot better if it didn't bust his nut.
Because like I've heard of people said they have it. Like I think it's a creepy move if a guy has Plan B just in case.
Oh yeah,
like,
that's creepy as fuck.
It's responsible to have condoms just in case, but you don't have Plan B just stacked up just in case.
Well, you know what I do? You know how like old World War II paratroopers would keep a cyanide capsule in like a fake tooth? I actually do that with Plan B. Yeah, and if I'm making out with a girl after I've slipped one past the goalie, I'll just sort of take it out of my tooth, and then.
You put it in her mouth.
Yeah. Okay, I don't actually do that.
That's your Plan B is murdering women.
Not murdering. No, not the cyanide. I have a Plan B in my...
Oh, I thought you said
No, I would not murder. No, my joke was
I see.
politically incorrect, but not to that extent.
I see.
No, I would never murder.
No, I think
I'm very strongly against murdering people of all genders, and I've said that on record.
I think, but you said though in 2019 it's worse than saying you want.
It's also not good, right? It's also not good. Yeah,
I think it's worse actually.
I don't think it's worse, but it's also not good.
I think it actually is.
Okay, well, I wasn't going to do either of them. They're both jokes. I should just say this right now. I'm strongly against murder.
No, they're not worried about that part. They're worried about the part where you're.
I'm also strongly against faking the Plan B thing in this.
But then I'm
also against comedy. I'm also against all forms of jokes as well.
But then the thing, the next day though, when you bring the breakfast to the lovely lady, and then you have to like politely watch them swallow it.
Well, now I don't know when you got into the game, but
I've only done this once in my life.
you've only done this once.
Yeah, I don't have those experiences. I'm very
let
careful.
me tell you how wild it used to be.
Well, before you did the RU 4086 thing.
No, when I first got into the Plan B game in college,
It's been around that long.
yeah.
I think before it's the abortion pill.
No, it was Plan B. But it was a different kind of Plan B. You had to take one pill, and then they had to take it again, another one in 12 hours. So it was fucked. So you had to just hope they would remember to take it in 12 hours. So I remember one time I was with this girl, and I really didn't trust her at all. And she was a wild child, and I just didn't feel good about it. So we went and got the Plan B, and I wanted to get the hell out of there. Like, we had gotten an argument. We were not getting along. She was mad that I was making her take it because she was doing the thing of like, I'm not going to get pregnant. I just had my period. That whole routine. You're like, no. So we take the Plan B, and then I'm like, I don't want to leave until I see her take the other one. So I had to kind of like try to get back in her good graces and sort of like make up and hang around. And then we went to a restaurant, and we were having brunch, and I was just like, okay, I just got like one more hour. I'm just like eating my toast really slowly because I just don't want to drop her off until I see her take it. Finally, she's like, she goes to take it. I'm like just pressuring, and she knows what I'm doing at this point. She goes to take it. She opens the pill bottle. It pops up in the air like and lands in her purse, a huge purse full of all kinds of stuff. And she just gets up and is like, I can't find it, and storms to the bathroom. I'm like, it's a beautiful day in San Francisco. I just take everything out of her purse on the table. Tons of people around. I find that pill. It's like some Curb Your Enthusiasm shit. I'm like, you're taking this pill.
That's crazy.
And I do everything I could to not ask her to lift her tongue up to see that she had taken it. Yeah.
It's crazy because you also, it's like it being like not for fake, but being an actual good person. And you're like, I don't want to.
Yeah.
It's
I
weird
agree.
to be like, it's weird to say eat your Cheetos.
Well, because you know why it's weird? Because you're saying, I don't trust you.
Yeah.
I either think
I don't
you
know if
purposely
I trust
want to
you.
have a baby with me.
Yeah.
I mean, you're accusing him of some dark shit. Some real dark shit. But plenty of man has not taken that into his own hands, and then they're fucking ended up with a baby. Because men are in a weird position with this.
I haven't seen this girl. She might have my baby right now.
Might be a little baby Tay-Tay walking around. So anyway, the funny thing is afterwards, on the way home, I was dropping her off, she like tried to have sex with me again. She started trying to give me a hand job and asked me to come in and sleep with her. I'm like, are you fucking crazy? Like, didn't you realize how psychotic I am? Like, why would you want to, you know what I mean? Like, let's just call this one.
So you still did keep her happy to keep it in her system?
I did not, no.
She could take it out.
What do you mean she could take it?
She could chop open her stomach and
No,
pull
I
out
don't
the
think she
pill.
wasn't going to do that. She's not. No one does that.
You don't know?
I do know. That's an impossible thing.
Those college days. Now it's different these days.
Yeah.
You know?
So anyway, I'm glad I have a girlfriend. So no more of that shit for me. I think we have one more. We have time for one more story here. Oh yeah. So John Legend's a good guy. That's a good segue. He, there was that shooting in Dayton, and John Legend showed up and surprised, I think, some of the victims' families and some of the victims with a song. And I wanted to ask you, what is the nicest thing you've ever done for people in an altruistic way, aside from buying them the Plan B to avoid them having to be your
nice
child?
I've not sang to people.
You've not sang to people?
That's a gift.
That does seem like a nice gift. Are you not a good singer?
No. Well, maybe.
It depends on what.
If you think I am. I have a theory.
Do you identify as being a good singer?
I think I do actually identify. That's actually not even a joke. No one else would know that, but I agree. Wait, so you're asking sincerely what's the nicest thing I've ever done?
I'm saying what's the nicest thing you've ever done for people? Like, have you ever done like something really nice that, because comedians, we say the bad things about ourselves.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
What's something good you did? Yeah, I figured it would take you a while.
I'm trying to think of the nicest. I've visited people who are like a fan in the hospital.
Okay. Just name dropping you a fan.
No one's listening to this.
Well, let's hear about it. What was the fan that you visited?
I was like on the America's Got Talent tour. Then they're like, "This someone's in the hospital. They want to meet you." And
But you were doing it for press, probably.
No.
That's nice of you. That's sweet.
But that's not the nice. I'm sure I've done way nicer things.
You think you've done a lot nicer than that?
I met this like legendary old wrestler guy, and I'm helping him with his Instagram right now, which is a lot of work.
It's not that nice.
It's a lot of work.
But it's not that nice, though.
I visited a guy in the hospital.
So you said that wasn't the nicest thing, and then the next thing you said you're helping a wrestler with his tweets. I mean, that just seems...
I've worked a lot with special needs kids.
Okay. What have you done with them?
I was vice president of... You're like...
I'm just asking. I want to know. I want to know what you've done.
I don't know. I'm just thinking of the good things I've done in my life.
Okay.
I volunteered in the hospital and like met with sick kids who didn't know who I was.
All right.
I was frustrated. I'm like, do you watch TV? And they're like, I'm 4. You know?
You're like, yeah, but, you know, you seem to know a lot about leukemia. You can know one thing about Taylor Williamson. Come on. That was funny.
Oh, boy.
That was funny.
See, the difference between you and me is I still think I have a chance of having a big career, so I'm not...
Oh, I don't? Dude, look at me. I have my own name on the wall. I think I have a huge chance.
Is it always there?
Yeah.
Does your girlfriend like it?
She does not like it, no.
I lived in my place for 2 years, and I have nothing on my walls.
Right.
Like, literally nothing. I don't know. My TV's on my wall. I have it on a table, and I have commitment issues.
So yeah, you really are in this thing in your head of you're like you're worried you're going to get this big break and then you're going to say something negative on a podcast. Do you realize all the guys that are doing huge things in comedy say horrible shit on podcasts constantly?
I do think
you,
about
unless you
that.
want to be like a cheese dick guy on some cheese dick show,
Yeah.
which of course at this point you'll take anything. Oh, I am as well. Look at all the guys who are crushing it. They're not
it's fascinating.
They're not living in these
they have
terrible
fart
codes.
microphones. They have microphones they fart into.
Yeah, just fucking let yourself go, dude. You'll be a happier guy.
All right, say some crazy shit, and I'll match you.
Taylor Williamson likes to masturbate in blackface in front of the mirror, and that's the only way he can come and feel happy about himself. Is that true or not? Answer it. Answer right now.
It's
See, you can't answer it. What?
That's the opposite of what you just said. Mean things about me.
Yeah, I thought you said say crazy shit.
I want you to say a bunch
about
of, like,
me?
slurs
No, we
and
don't have
stuff.
time for that. No, we don't have time. We got to wrap it up.
Say a bunch of like racial slurs.
All right, so we about ready to wrap it up? You want to plug some dates? You want to plug some dates?
When's this gonna air?
It's going to air this week.
I'm gonna be in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, hometown of Brett the Hitman Hart.
Oh, are you going to be at the House of Comedy?
No, that's in Edmonton. You fucking
No. House of Comedy.
Shit.
You're going to be at the Comedy House. Which one are you doing? I was just in Calgary. It's a good club.
The Laugh Shop.
Yeah, Laugh Shop. I was there.
Great. Matt's great. I love him.
I love Matt. It's a good club. I like that club because it has like the background of like a 1985 rap video, and you're in the middle of Calgary, and you're like, is this what you guys still think hip hop is going on? Yeah.
Alberta's weird. It's Texas.
Yeah.
I thought all of Canada was like all hippie liberal stuff. It's
No,
literally
Alberta's- yeah.
It's just as divided as we are, Canada.
Yeah.
And then they have weird conspiracy theories about their prime minister, like that he's the son. His what's his name? Trudeau.
Yeah.
His dad was the prime minister or something too. Like
Yeah. His dad was a very famous prime minister.
And allegedly, these people believe this. It's not even a joke. It's like all this propaganda stuff. What do you call it? Like conspiracy?
Yeah.
Conspiracies is that his real dad is Fidel Castro. Like that's
Right.
that's their like right.
that's a
conspiracy
very
theory.
wild. That's a very wild theory.
Yes, but anyway, someone told me that. I made a friend and he told me that. I'm like, oh yeah, we're not going to talk about this stuff. Anyway, so we got Calgary, Alberta, Canada.
Good
I'll
club.
be in,
very close to a Tim Hortons.
Yeah,
Walking distance to a Tim
You
Hortons.
want to hear my go-to Tim Hortons bit?
I'd love to hear it.
They love it.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
If you guys don't know about Canada, Tim Hortons is like their Starbucks, but it sucks.
It's like a shitty Starbucks.
Yeah.
They get offended by that.
I don't
too.
give a fuck, dude. Fucking Tim Hortons.
Now we're edgy.
Yeah, we're getting
Tim
real
Hortons
edgy.
is
You could take
shit.
my career away. You could not let me be the spokesman for Tim Hortons Dunkin' Sticks. Donut sticks. Let's hear your joke.
So I went to Tim Hortons today.
Yeah, he did. Tim Hortons, he went there.
Yeah.
Today, actually, I think it was today.
I swear I'm not just saying this. Tim Hortons, one of the nicest homeless shelters I've ever been to.
Solid.
They fucking love
That's
it.
a solid burn right there.
Thanks, man. I mean, every time I've been there, there's like 7 homeless people in there.
Yeah, no, it's, I mean, so you're making fun of the homeless population. See, I tend to think it's better to help. So Taylor doesn't like homeless people. There's a lot of things we learned a lot. So I think we're very ready to wrap it up.
There's jokes they did on America's Got Talent I want to do today.
Okay.
Anyways, so I was talking about this stuff. I'll be in Timmins, Ontario, Canada, hometown of Shania Twain. Got a private gig there.
Yeah.
A public gig, actually, fundraiser.
Okay.
But they pay that private money.
Put that private money, girl. Yeah.
Bainbridge Island, Washington.
Right.
Hitting all the biggest markets.
So you're performing in a well out there? Trying to think what's on Bainbridge Island. I'll be performing in a ditch in.
Listen, TaylorWilliamson.com. You go listen to my.
No, you actually
special.
have a very. Taylor's a wonderful comedian. You guys, he draws a lot of people. Actually, I'm very jealous of you.
800 people bought tickets to see me in Tampa.
Dude, that's insane. That's good. They should. You're that talented. I agree.
Really?
I think you're very funny. Yeah.
Thank you. I likewise. You stress me out, but I like you.
I'm trying to fuck you with this little handshake. See, I brought it full circle. That's a fuck you. That's a want to fuck handshake.
Do you want to fuck?
We're gonna end the podcast on that.